Welcome to LTU Perspectives, a journey into the experiences, stories, and adventures at Lawrence Technological University. A student-hosted podcast filled with insights and the intriguing stories that embody the LTU spirit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the season premiere of the LTU Perspectives podcast. My name is Luke Weinberger. I'm joined by my teammate, pitcher and utility man Nathan Lawler, who has taken some time out of his day to talk with me a little bit about the different perspectives he's gained on his path and journey to LTU. Nathan, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, so I know you started in Florida, is where you were born and raised. So tell me a little bit about what your life was like playing baseball down in Florida.
Yep, I grew up Fort Myers area, so baseball is kind of like a big thing down there. You don't have like any time to stop. So I know like up here, up north, you kind of have like times where you can't go outside, you can't do this and that. But no, like when you're down there in Florida, it's year round. If you're not playing for your high school team, you're playing for your travel ball team. That is your high school team. So I mean, like, you really don't have time to stop.
Right. And you did, before transferring to LTU, you went to a school in Kentucky, Georgetown. So what led you to your decision to choose Georgetown as your school?
So I think just coming out of high school, I was kind of like a lot of other kids. I was just like, I don't know where I'm going. Even my degree I eventually ended up choosing was because my sister actually, like, she went down that same path. So I was like, if she can do it, I can do it kind of deal. So I was like, really just didn't know where to go. And then I was talking to the coach through one of these platforms, kind of talking to him like, hey, what's going on? He liked me. So I was like, all right, well, distance never been a problem for me. I don't really care where I end up going. And yeah, ended up in Kentucky. Great place. Loved it there.
So what made you decide or choose to come to LTU and transferring from Georgetown? What was the main catalyst?
The biggest thing was really just the degree for me. Just at my old school, it wasn't the best for mechanical engineering. Now here, I love the degree more or less. It's just a lot more hands-on, which I actually like. I think at my other school too, like they eventually, like I was the last class that they were doing for engineering. I know a lot of my friends that are still there, like just dropped out of it altogether. So I think just focusing on my degree really brought me kind of down this path where I was like, all right, LTU is the school I'm gonna go. I know they build cars from the ground up, formula, helping out with them a little bit now. And just teaching me a lot more stuff than I would have ever learned at the other school.
Right. And so there's got to be a lot of differences from Florida to Kentucky to Michigan. So what would you say the biggest difference was from Florida to Kentucky or from Kentucky to Michigan?
To sum it up, I'm going to say temperature. I feel like that's kind of obvious, though. No, but the biggest difference, I would say, it's kind of because I was in school, but, like, just being away from your family for so long like that, you don't realize, like, how much that affects you. Not in a bad way or anything. It's just, like, you're on your own in this place now. You kind of have to be the man of yourself. So I think that kind of like taught me a lot of life lessons and everything. Really just like, all right, you have to watch yourself. I think having good friends around you too, that's a big thing that kind of helped get through all that. I know big difference between friends from this school and the other school, but all that really, that was the big difference, I would say.
And would you say that you expected, or what transferring was what you expected, or something that you kind of unrealistic expectation that you had for transferring, or was it kind of just what you expected?
I don't think I went into it with a lot of like expectations. I knew I still want to play ball, so I was like, as long as I'm getting a good degree, which I'm definitely, I guess in that scenario, yes, it was beyond what I was expecting, but baseball-wise, it was just kind of like, I just want to play ball. As long as I'm still playing, still getting a good degree, I'm really okay with where I'm going. Other than that, yeah.
I know you already touched on a little bit of the weather and how that played an impact on baseball, but what is the difference between Florida, Kentucky, and Michigan all on a let's say, just athletic level?
So I would say a lot of what I did down in Florida was high school level. So I'd say level competition's different. The people that you play with, that's a big difference too. So a lot of my teams when I was down in Florida were like all Hispanic teams. So it was like, that's people you meet down there. Like, I feel like that has molded me as a person a little bit. So the funny thing is, I got a good story is, one of the high school teams I played for like travel ball, like I was saying, it was like all Hispanic. I think I was like the only white person on that team, but like whole Hispanic team. And we're in this tournament and they're talking, right? And everyone knew what they were saying, talking in Spanish though, whatever. So this one kid that I have is like so pissed off because they said something and I think they threw him from the game or something. So it was heated. But they threw him from the game, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. But to get to the bathroom, you have to walk by the other team's dugout. So as this kid is going by, you just see, like, they start chirping him, and the kid goes running over. We're like, oh, my God. We all go running on the field and, like, barely just almost got into a fight. Tournament canceled everything. Not tournament, but the game got, like, paused. We were killing the kids anyways, but.
Postponed, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
Something like that.
So, like, yeah, just, like, everything about that, how they think and everything. That's one thing, too, that's really different is I know here, like, because of winter, everything, you can't, like, go outside. Florida's like, all right, game's done. I'm going to go play tomorrow, so it doesn't really matter. Like, here, like, I think this year really was the first time where I was like, damn, I'm not going to be able to, like, play ball for a while now. So I think, yeah. That's like a big difference.
So would you say that was the biggest surprise that you had when you came to the Midwest to play baseball?
Yeah, I would say yeah. Just like when you're done, it's not like you have another game that's coming up right behind it. Or like, because in Florida, as soon as you get done, you're playing for your travel team.
Right.
It's like no big deal. You're going nonstop. But like when we were down here, you were like, all right, that's your season.
Yeah. So would you say that living in Florida and being raised in Florida gave you like a different identity or an understanding of how baseball should be played or vice versa?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I think it kind of taught me because you see these kids. A lot of these kids, I mean, I played with came from like the DR just to play baseball. You just see their love for the game and you're like, wow, okay. So like this is how much they actually care.
It's kind of like your identity.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of these kids, their plan B is they don't have one. They kind of like burn the boats in its essence. And if they don't make it somewhere, they're kind of just like, all right, well, I don't know what we're doing now.
Yeah. Going from that, how would you describe the passion or the culture at your previous school of Georgetown?
It was really like performance driven, I would say. Like not big team school. We were really just like, all right, this is how you did. They did not care really about anything else. I knew the one thing that we did have though was we had the Hell Week. So it was after fall ball was over. What we still have these lifts, right? 5 days a week. And for this Hell Week, you had to go into this gym that's already in like, it's like completely metal. So it like gets really hot or really cold. But he would like crank up the heat to like 90 degrees. So you're like burning, dying in this room. And you're like, oh my God, I can't do this today. So I think, yeah, like that. They're kind of like mentality wise, like you had to be ready to like suffer a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So you transferred to LTU. What did you notice as the biggest difference between Georgetown and Lawrence Tech?
How close everyone was. Honestly, that was the biggest thing. Kind of like how I was saying at my other school, it was like you're with your class people and like everyone else kind of like stuck to themselves. So like when I came here, I was kind of surprised how like everyone was laughing, joking with each other. I was like, oh, okay, so like is this how all teams are? Or is it just this team or something? So I that's one thing I really do like though.
Yeah. So I know we've been playing baseball a long time. You've had a lot of different coaches. Has Coach Stan Eldridge, the coach of Lawrence Tech, has he given you any new perspectives or any new thoughts or anything that you've really taken to heart?
So, yeah, no. I don't know like how different he is because my dad kind of had like the same background as Stan. So like a lot of what he's saying, it kind of like bringing back like childhood memories and stuff of like when my dad was teaching me to play. So I don't know if it's new, but like definitely like resurfacing old memories and everything where I was like, all right, this is like what my dad was teaching me to play growing up. You got to play hard, don't stop, give your all, your more swings, all that kind of deal where he's just kind of like, you can never do enough. You can always be better.
So is there anything that you think Lawrence Tech does that you wish your old school did, or vice versa, your old school at Georgetown did that you wish Lawrence Tech as a baseball team would adopt?
I definitely say the lifts here. That's one big thing. I feel like that's helped me a lot, honestly. At my old school, it was literally just like the person who was in charge of the lifts was one of the old players that just came back to help. So, I mean, it's not like he didn't know 100% what he was doing, but I mean, it's hard making something for like people. So when I came here, getting like more personalized lifts for me to get better really helped. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah.
Yeah. What academically or athletically do you think was your biggest adjustment that you had to make when transferring from Georgetown to Lawrence Tech?
Absolutely academically. So at my other school, it was a lot easier to pass your classes than here. Here you actually have to put in like a lot of effort. You got to be on top of everything. And then when baseball season comes around, you have to keep on top because if you're not, it's going to just pile up and it's going to kind of like chew you up and spit you out. Kind of had that happen last semester, spring. Had this one class where it just kind of got lazy and it just like chewed me up and I was like, oh, damn, all right. So you can't joke around with stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of athletes have struggled with that, and it's a challenge that a lot of people face. What would you say the hardest part about transferring was?
Hardest part, just having to like get to know everybody again. So like you get so close with everyone on a baseball team because like, especially my little group, we like did everything together. We ate together. I don't think I would ever go to like the cafeteria or something by myself. I'd always go with someone else. So just like, I got so close knit with everyone that when I came here, I was kind of like, oh, I don't need to talk to these guys or something like that. Or like, I'm just going to stick to myself. It's okay. I'm chilling. But then I think just how everyone acted around me, just like always trying to like bring me into the conversation and stuff, just really being nice, kind of like opened me up from my shell and like gave me a different perspective. Like, yeah, even though you do have like your old friends, like you can always make new ones.
Yeah, so building trust, I'm sure, is a big thing. So how have you been able to build trust with me and our other teammates on the team?
Honesty. Honestly, that's one of the few things I like to preach about more than anything. It's okay if you make mistakes. I get that's going to happen. Don't lie to me, though. If you say you're going to do something and you don't do it because you didn't feel like it, like that, I'm kind of like, all right, then what does that make you as a person? Like, I can't trust you now. But if it happens where you're like, all right, you said you're going to do this, and you just straight up like made a mistake, I'm like, okay, I get that. It's going to happen.
So is there a specific time or a specific moment like, hey, this is when I finally felt like Lawrence Tech was my home, where I felt completely welcomed and part of the team?
Yeah, so I felt like I was always a part of the team. I didn't feel like I was like closely knit with everyone until really our Florida trip. Down in Florida, I was kind of like, I was able to be around everyone. I really got to know a lot of the people there, which sucks because like a lot of the older guys left. So like just seeing like the little bit of time I did have with them, just really being able to build those relationships and friendships. I know I still talk with a couple of them even now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we went down and we were playing near Georgetown, and you actually had a couple friends that you got to say hi to while we were down there earlier in the season. I think we were at Campbellsville, I think it was.
Yeah, when we went and played in Campbellsville, yeah. So, like, a couple of my boys back in Georgetown, I saw that we got off. So I saw the exit, right? I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's the school that I went to because like you see the exit all the time. And then we get off onto it, and I'm like, oh wait, hold up, let me like shoot a text to one of my guys because I knew we were going to eat, and we stopped at Cane's, which I went to. I can't kid you, I think I kept them in business by myself. But like, no, we pulled off. I'm like, yo, I'm at Cane's right now. Like, pull up. I haven't seen these guys at this point in 6 months or something like that. So, no, yeah, like 6 or 9 months. I haven't seen these guys in. So, like, being able to see them was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been special just being able to not only be on a trip with your new current baseball team, but get to reminisce and talk and pick up with the old buddies from your old school.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was just, it felt kind of funny too because I was there. I'm like, oh, these are my old friends, and like, oh, this is my whole other team. So it was like, I was kind of like stuck in between, like, oh, how long do I stay and talk to these? I mean, I gotta eat still because we're stopped. I gotta go to the bathroom and everything. I mean, I want to talk to these guys. So I mean, like, yeah, just like if I had a choice, we would have stayed there for like a day and then gone down to Campbellsville just so I could hang out with them. But you know how it is. You don't always get what you want.
No, and especially in our program, you gotta do what you can. But the biggest thing that we've talked about so far has been the athletic side. I want to talk more on the personal side. How have you developed or changed as a person with all of these different moves? I mean, drastic moves from Florida to Kentucky and then from Kentucky to Michigan. How has that changed you as a person or developed a new perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think biggest thing from Florida to Kentucky was kind of like that independence. Like, I'm on my own. Like, I do stuff on my own now. I can't rely on mommy and daddy to help me out. I think that was the biggest thing there, just like being able to have other people to hang out with, to keep you, I don't want to say distracted, but like kind of like distracted from like, all right, you're away from home. You can't see your family. Because I know not everyone is like a big family guy. I'm a big family guy. Like, I still talk to my brother every day, my dad every day, mom every day, sister. I'm going to go see her right after this, actually. I'm going to go drive over to Cincy, but just being able to like stay in, like keep myself from constantly thinking about them kind of helps me like get through it. From Kentucky to here, I would say just like growing up, really. I think this is kind of where like I would say I became more of a man in a sense. Like, I was a little kid back in Kentucky, kind of stuck in my own ways, and like here it kind of like opened up my eyes, especially with like the big difference and everything, and how you guys say Louisville. I know that's one thing I got teased about a whole bunch in Kentucky, but yeah, just so you guys can hear, it's Louisville.
That's what I've heard. I mean, I've always pronounced it Louisville, and I will correct people if I hear them say Louisville, because I think it's kind of funny, because that's a fun tidbit.
Yeah, no, they get really protective about that. I'm not gonna lie.
So I know baseball has definitely taught you a lot of things. What is the biggest takeaway from baseball that you've been able to hone and bring into your personal life that you use every single day? What lesson, what concept, what thing have you really taken to heart?
Accepting failure. In baseball, you're going to fail so much that it's going to make you go crazy. I think that was the biggest thing for me. I know just like accepting that, like being able to move on. Thing is, like, if you go to the Hall of Fame, you literally just get hit 3 out of 10 times and you're in the Hall of Fame. Just like being able to like take that to a real world situation, like you gave your all, didn't happen. Oh well, go get the next one. That really helps me kind of like stay on track, not get like upset with myself and distracted, because I know as soon as that happens, you get lost, and then you're like, oh, boo-hoo me. I just don't want to be like that type of person, so I really try to find the good in everything too. Even though like I know, made a mistake. I'm like, all right, I can go fix that, or I can go make it better.
Yeah. How do you feel like you've developed as a person? I mean, it's been 3 years since your freshman year. So how have you developed as a person from freshman year to now?
I would say my outlook on everything, really. Just like, I know freshman year, I kind of had like that I have to do good. oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to. Now I'm kind of like, all right, I know what I have to do. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to do what I do. Whatever it is, that's what I got. Because at the end of the day, I mean, like, it doesn't really matter if I go 3 for 3 in a game with 3 bombs. I'm still going to be me. It's not going to change anything. I think that was a big mentality change I had too. Is I don't know. I felt like if I didn't like get that hit, everyone on my team would hate me, and I was like, oh God, I can't let this happen. So just like being able to like be loose about everything and not like worry about that, and just understand that like at the end of the day, I'm me for me, not because of how I play, because of who I am.
Yeah, it's kind of just a development from the I have to philosophy to the I get the opportunity to philosophy. I know that was a big thing that Coach Stan talked about a lot last year. We had a seminar about it last year that I'm not sure if you were at, but I went to the Get To Foundation. And it's kind of just that switch of perspective of, hey, you shouldn't be thinking about these things like, oh, dang, I have to get up. I have to do the. No, you're blessed. You get to come to school. You get to play baseball for school. You get to do these things. So you should be happy. You should be thankful that you get to do these things every day.
Yeah, no, I think one example he had that really like put it into context for me a lot was he was talking about how like there's this kid who like couldn't play baseball or anything, but he would be on the field all the time. And he just always was like the happiest person on the field. So I think like that really like stuck with me personally. I was like, okay, even though I'm able to play baseball, why can't I have that grin on my face? So that's really what I try to think of too. And like, just remember that like someone's bad day might get fixed just based off my interaction with them.
What's a challenge that you faced and it ended up helping you in order to grow the most? Is there a challenge that you feel is, hey, I've really taken this challenge to heart and it's really helped me grow as a person?
I would say, like, just trying to get to know people better. Because I spent a lot of my time, like, a lot of my earlier part of my life, just like, this is me. I'm me. I don't care what anyone else is. Just understanding, like, thinking from a different perspective of not everyone thinks like you, just kind of keeps me aware that, like, at the end of the day, like kind of was saying, we're all people. Doesn't really, well, some stuff does matter what you do, but it doesn't really matter. And like, as long as you're a good person.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about what you want to do. So what goals or aspirations do you have for the rest of your time at Lawrence Tech and beyond?
First one, main one, the biggest one, just enjoy myself. So I feel like we don't get a lot of time, and a lot of people get like so stuck on it, like a certain goal or something like this, where they're not able to enjoy themselves. I just want to be the person that like I can always enjoy myself, because if I'm enjoying myself at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter if I'm a bum on the street. If I'm enjoying myself,
Yeah.
and I'm living my best life, I win at the end of the day.
Yeah. So personally, do you have any goals that your journey through baseball on or off the field has really inspired you to chase? What goals have you been inspired to chase?
I think every kid who goes to college kind of has that dream of like going further with that. I think that's a big one. Understanding like your limits and everything. You have to be like realistic with yourself. So like after college and everything, I was thinking about like going to Navy or Marines, something like that. I was doing a little research on like the Navy SEALs and everything the other day, and I was watching their SPUDS training or something like that. I was watching, just listening to these guys talk about it. I was like, oh my God, like these guys care so much about it. Like they're willing to die. Like that's not even a joke. Like some of them get so sick from this that like I'm just like surprised someone can care that much about something.
Yeah, I mean, to them, I know that's a big thing that we've focused on, especially during workouts, is being a brotherhood. And we've done these military workouts Saturday after Saturday, and it almost feels like we're starting to understand that philosophy and have that exact same understanding of, hey, we're a brotherhood. We're going to be there for one another no matter how tough it gets.
Yeah, I think he really hit a good. There was one workout that we did. I don't know if you remember, but it was the one where you're partnered up with someone. So while your one partner was running around the dome or something,
And then you had to do like
had to
push-ups
do
or
push-
jumping
Yeah,
jacks
I
or
think
whatever it was. Yep, I do remember that.
that really like kind of set the tone for like, hey, if you kind of fall back, you're only hurting your team. You're not really hurting yourself. I mean, you can fall all you want. You're just hurting your team.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of set everything in perspective for me, really.
Yeah, I mean, you're not just relying on yourself. You're relying on this other guy. And in this case, you were relying on one guy. But in the case of baseball on the field, you're relying on 9, 10 other guys to be able to participate and play at a high level, the high level that you expect, the high level that you want to play at. So that's a big thing. I think reliance and being able to rely on your teammates, whether or not they're on or off the field, that doesn't matter. It's the fact that you can rely on them, that you know that they're going to be there for you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know, like, if I know my teammate has my back, I kind of like, you can relax a little bit more. You don't have to be like, oh God, now I have to do better because he's not doing good, or oh God, this guy's in a bad mood. Let me watch out for him. Just kind of like, all right, that's my guy. I got him. He's got me. I'm not worried about that. He'll do his thing.
Yeah, exactly. You have a unique perspective on what it's like to transfer, especially when you're transferring from great distances of states. And is there any advice that you would give to fellow teammates, other athletes, of what it takes or what you need to do, what to expect when transferring?
I would say, like, I know it can be like kind of like scary and everything when you first transfer, like you don't know anybody. People aren't mean. Like most of the time, if you go up and talk to someone, they'll talk back to you, even if it is kind of awkward. Like, kind of like get involved with other people. Don't stay in your shell. I know it's easier said than done. I'm still working on that personally. I kind of like, I don't know, but I have my friends. I can just chill with them. But just kind of like getting out there. I try to get more involved. I go out and do stuff now. Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays sometimes. I just try to like stay involved with people, trying to like help them along their process and everything.
Would that be the same advice that you would give to yourself if you could go back and look at yourself and talk to yourself from freshman year? Is that the advice that you would give yourself, or is there something else?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say like, hey, bud, not everything's gonna go your way. You know what is gonna be there for you though at the end of the day? The people that you meet. People that you meet are always gonna be there for you if they're good friends, which I hope they are, but they're going to be there for you. They're going to be the ones at the end of the day that you're going to want next to you at your wedding or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually funny that you talk about, because I know when I was at your guys' dorm the other day, that was a big thing that we were talking about, or apartment. McCormick and you and Jingle and Holden, we were all arguing over, hey, who was going to be who's best man at their wedding, or who was going to be whatever. And I think those conversations are huge, especially in a tight-knit community. Hey, it's just the 5 of us hanging out, but we're passionate. We're talking about these things because we care about each other so much. Hey, we know we're going to be there for each other in the future. You know, we might not be on the same baseball field or even on a baseball field anymore, but hey, we've built these bonds. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have your back no matter what you go into, no matter what you do. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I feel like as soon as you get to that point where you're talking to your friends about stuff like that, you're kind of like winning at life. When you have people around you like they're that close that you kind of just talk about anything, you're winning in general, in my book at least. Not having to like keep everything inside, because like that's like poison when you just keep everything in and like don't get it out. I know it just can like cripple you. That was a big thing I kind of like had a problem with when I first came here, just like being by myself. It kind of brews in you, and you don't realize it until it's like such a big thing. You're like, oh my God. So like just as soon as I started like talking with everyone, it really just helped.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you know that no matter what you're going through, hey, it might be an academic problem, it might be an athletic problem, it might just be a life problem. If you have those people behind you that are willing to support you and there to support you no matter what you do, you know that you have your brotherhood behind you, it makes everything so much easier, because hey, I might stumble, I might fall, but those guys are right there to pick me back up.
Exactly, yeah, just that kind of mentality of I'm not worried, because even if I do fall, I got someone right behind me that's going to help me pick me back up. Just really helps. Even just like being able to just talk about stuff too. It might seem silly talking about who's gonna win the next game, or talking trash playing 2K or something like that. But those like those small moments are like what you remember the most thinking back. Because I know you do remember your big moments, but it's those little moments that you kind of like miss. Like, damn, all right, this is what I miss. I realize that a lot. Just not even like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember like a ton of the big moments. It was like the little moments where I was just hanging out in my one friend's room, just kind of like talking, not even doing anything, really just talking and just chilling together.
Yeah, I mean, you've given an outstanding perspective of all types of things, what it's like to move, what it's like to play in different programs, what programs do good stuff, and what if you wish our program it adapted to those things, what it's like to have people behind you, teammates willing to work for you, work hard with you, and picking you back up. Is there any last thoughts that you have or any advice that you want to give before we wrap this up?
I would say just go get out there. I know it sounds like everyone says this, but like that's really the honest truth. If you stay in your own little world, you'll only know your own little world, and it's so much bigger than that. There's so many ways you can go. There's not just one. You can do absolutely anything. Just being able to like change, go with the flow. Not everything's gonna go your way, and just understanding like, hey, you're okay. You it might seem silly now, but like you can move on. You can do something else. It's not the end of the world if your plan A goes wrong.
Yeah, Nathan, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to share your perspective. I know there are going to be a ton of different athletes that can relate to you and are going to take some of your advice and put it into their everyday lives. This has been the first season premiere of the LTU Perspectives podcast, and I hope you guys come back for our next episode.